At the stroke of the midnight hour, when the world sleeps, India will awake to life and freedom.
Independent India had many dreams and many challenges. The first election of modern India, held in 1951, had women participating with equal voting rights. Very next year, Bihar Assembly election happened peacefully. They were the first dance of democracy in India, and they were spotless and pride of India. Winning against all odds and negative speculations. 5 years later, when India was voting for the second time, things changed drastically. Both Lok Sabha and State Assembly elections were carried out together in 1957. That was also the first election that witnessed ugly booth capturing incidents. It was in Bihar. Nondescript Rachiari in Begussarai of Bihar was the first recorded connection of criminals with politics, where allegedly first booth capturing took place. It was a fight between Congress and Communist Party of India. The incumbent Congress MLA could smell defeat and decided to use force to win the battle of ballots against the communist candidate. But when the last vote was counted, Rachiari went to the Red Comrade.
बूथ था कचहरी पर, राजापुर मथा का मतदान यहाँ गिराने के लिए आते थे, समझिए सर। उसके बाद दो कैंडिडेट खड़े थे, एक कम्युनिस्ट पार्टी एक कांग्रेस पार्टी, इधर चंद्रशेखर बाबू उधर सरजू बाबू, दोनों थे। राजापुर मथा का वोट बैलगाड़ी से गिराने के लिए आ रहे थे, रास्ता में ही जो उनको है मारपीट करके रिटर्न कर दिए। तब वोट को यहाँ लूटपाट किया और सरजू बाबू निकल गए, जीत गए, कम्युनिस्ट जी हार गए। वही बात है।
तो कौन लोग थे जिन्होंने बूथ किस तरह?
सरजू बाबू ने किया था।
अच्छा
जी, ये गढ़ कम्युनिस्ट माना जाता था उस वक्त, रचिया ही कम्युनिस्ट गढ़ माना जाता था, लेकिन फिर भी सरजू बाबू जीत गए।
चाचा 57 में क्या हुआ था?
57 में तो यही कहे जो वहाँ झड़प हुआ, चुनका पोल लेगा, बूथ यहाँ बंद हो गया एकाएक, और कम्युनिस्ट और कांग्रेस का दोनों का झंझट था, यही सब हुआ। उसके बाद आपको आ रहा था बैलगाड़ी वाला वोट देने के लिए यहाँ, उस सबको घुरा दिया गया मारपीट कर। मेरा यहाँ पर घर है, दलान पर वो मिट्टी वाला लाठी करके बना करके खेल रहे थे। जब हल्ला गुल्ला हुआ ना तो हम लोग भी उधर मुँह दौड़े, देखे वहीं पर झंझट पंझट, तो हम लोग डर से फिर लौट गए। उसके बाद यहाँ बूथ बंद हो गया।
तो यहाँ पहली बार लोगों को ये था कि वोट डालना है आज़ादी के बाद, तो लोग तो जो खुश होंगे, जोश में होंगे। बूथ बंद हो गया तो फिर वोट नहीं डाला गया?
नहीं डाला नहीं।
फिर दोबारा भी कब डाला गया?
5 साल के बाद फिर हुआ।
तो उस चुनाव में यहाँ नहीं डाला गया तो कैसे, कौन जीता हारा, क्या हुआ?
कांग्रेस को दिया गया, सरजू प्रसाद को।
तो तब भी क्या बाहुबली लोग थे, क्या थे, कौन लोग थे जिन्होंने हंगामा मारपीट किया था?
बाहुबली थे कि करीब बाहुबली थे।
Bihar gave India its first president, Rajendra Prasad. His journey starts from Zirade in Bihar. where close to Rajendra Prasad's home, started another journey from this dilapidated house. Born as Mithilesh Kumar Srivastav, he became famous as Mr. Natwarlal. He sold the parliament, the Rashtrapati Bhavan, the Taj Mahal, the Red Fort. He was the high-profile con artist who ruled headlines as long as he lived. Zeradeh is also the place from where Muhammad Shahabuddin started his tainted political career. The Don who turned successful people's representative, winning Zeradeh constituency successively from 1990 and 1995 as its MLA. And then he became MP, winning Siwan. He won elections while sitting behind the bar. Muhammad Shahabuddin was the epitome of successful marriage of crime with politics in Bihar. But to understand how it all started in Bihar, we have to go to West Champaran. This is the place that once used to be called Mini Chambal. And before that, this is the place from where Mahatma Gandhi started his Satyagraha journey.
अपराध को लेकर के ही चंबल प्रसिद्ध है। तो जहाँ अपराध होगा वो चंबल हो गया। तो मान लीजिए ऑलरेडी एक चंबल है, तो इसको मिनी चंबल नाम दे दिया गया। थोड़ा और बढ़ जाता तो चंबल 2 हो जाता है, लेकिन उतना ही पर रुक गया तो इसलिए इसको मिनी चंबल नाम दिया गया। चंबल मतलब अपराध, अपराध का जो केंद्र है वो चंबल है, इसीलिए इसको मिनी चंबल बोला जाता था।
तो इसी को क्यों कहा गया? और भी तो बिहार में बहुत सारे इलाके,
हर जगह अपराध का अलग अलग स्वरूप था। बिहार में तो पूरा बिहार तो अपराध के लिए मैंने आज भी बदनाम है। हालांकि आज वो अपराध नहीं है, लेकिन फिर भी बदनाम है। यहाँ का जो अपराध था वो एक अलग स्वरूप का अपराध था।
कैसे?
जैसे अपराध के पीछे शुरू से होता था कि संपत्ति लूटपाट होता था। यहाँ जो अपराध हुआ उसमें संपत्ति छोड़ करके आदमी को उठा के लेके चल जाते थे, मतलब किडनैपिंग का कारोबार बिहार में बगहा से ही शुरू हुआ और ये पश्चिमी चंपारण में सिमट गया, धीरे धीरे और पूर्वी चंपारण और कहीं कहीं गया, लेकिन शुरुआत बगहा से ही है किडनैपिंग का शुरुआत।
Poor were plundered. Some became robber out of desperation, and some to defend, and then there were few who were habitual offenders. West Champaran had them all. The Bahubalis ruled the area and its ballot in the 80s and the 90s. Guns, gundas, and gang wars decided the political fate. In this mix of crime and politics, add the spice of caste. It becomes a potent combination. The Dalits of Bihar looked up at the Naxalism that was fanning in the neighboring state of Bengal to give a solution. And Bihar's story was being written with violent massacres that were to bring about social justice. But only got more despair and desperation in the mix. The notable example is the Belchi massacre of 1977. 11 people, including 8 Dalits and 3 from Sonar caste, were murdered in broad daylight by a mob of 60 to 70 people, allegedly led by a Kurmi landlord.
आपका 1985 से जो है 90 तक का जो अपराध का जो ग्राफ था, उस समय दिन में आप जो है 4 बजे के बाद घर से निकलना लोग को दुर्बल था, निकल नहीं सकते थे, आप इधर उधर आ जा नहीं सकते थे। दिन में भी जाने में लोगों को डर लगता था नेता में उस समय। तो रात का कौन कहे, आज तो स्थिति दूसरी है, बदलाव हुई है बहुत ज़्यादा। लेकिन उस समय अपराध चरम सीमा इसलिए था कि लेवी के लिए चिट्ठी आती थी। अपराधी जो है, आप बड़े साहूकार हैं, तो आपके पास चिट्ठी भेज दिया, मोहर लगा दिया कि मैं बिहार सरकार हूँ, फलना बोल रहा हूँ, और चिट्ठी भेज दिया कि आप इतना इतना सामान भेजा दीजिए। अगर आप सामान नहीं भेजाए तो आपका अपहरण हो जाता था, आपको ले जाकर टर्चर किया जाता था। आपसे पैसा जब मिलता था उस समय, अपहरण का जब फिरौती मिलता था, तब छुटकारा मिलती थी।
गंडक नदी हमारी जो निकल रही है ना, ये नेपाल से निकल रही है, और गंडक नदी के आसपास में किसानों की खेतियां हैं। चंपारण जब मिनी चंबल के नाम से जाना जाता था, तो चूँकि किसान नदी के सहारे, नाव के सहारे, छोटी नाविक से होकर के ही अपनी खेती बाड़ी करने जाया करते थे, या नाव के सहारे होकर के, या चचरा पुल जो हुआ करता था उस वक्त, उस सहारे से बाइक उइक से भी जाया करते थे। तो अपराधियों को इतना मनोबल बढ़ा था कि बाइक दौड़ा करके छीन लिया करते थे। एक अलाउद्दीन डाकू हुआ करते थे, बहुत मतलब अपने ज़माने का नामी ग्रामी डाकू हुआ करता था। तो दौड़ा करके बाइक वालों को पकड़ लिया करते थे, अपहरण कर लिया करते थे। डर की वजह से किसान दियारा खेती करने नहीं जाते थे। आज भी उस ज़माने के अपराधी जो थे, डकैत जो थे, आज भी बहुत किसानों के खेतियों को उन लोगों ने अपने मुट्ठी में लेकर के, अपने दबंगता के उस पे लेकर के आज भी वो अपनी खेती करते हैं दियारा क्षेत्रों में। आज भी वो किसानों के हाथ में उनकी ज़मीनें नहीं हैं। तो ये यहाँ का सिचुएशन था उस वक्त अपराध का।
A decade later, Dalel Chak Bagora massacre was a caste-based carnage that took place in the Aurangabad district of Bihar. Armed squads of the Maoist Communist Centre singled out Rajputs from their homes, took them to the fields and shot them point blank. Women and children were also not spared. Bodies were mutilated. Nearly 50 were killed, as casualty numbers are disputed. Caste politics of Bihar also paved the way for left politics to rise, and it turned violent. Ranvir Sena was born to counter them. It was the militia formed by Bhumihars, Brahmins and Rajput landowners. The armed force was named after a folk deity of the Bhumihar community, Ranvir Baba. They responded to the Maoists with gun and bullets, and Bihar turned into a bloody field of massacres. On the fateful night of the 12th and 13th Feb 1992, Maoists surrounded the Bara village near Gaya. People were pulled out of their homes and 40 Bhumihars were murdered. Four years later, on the night of 11th July 1996, approximately 200 armed men attacked Bathani Tola village. 21 people were dragged out of their homes and shot. This was the first installment of the Ranvir Sena's retaliation. The government sat idle as the rivalry between the Maoist and Ranvir Sena deepened. On the night of 1st December 1997, Ranvir Sena attacked Bathani Tola village again. This was one of Bihar's bloodiest massacres. A total of 58 people were killed and homes were set on fire. Two years later in Jahanabad, Bihar, the villagers of Shankar Biga were sleeping on 25th January when Ranvir Sena struck with guns. 22 Dalits were killed that night. In less than 2 months, another massacre took place. And this time, it was the Maoists who raided Senari village, lined up 40 people and slit their throats. A year later, on 16th June in the year 2000, in Miapur village, Aurangabad, Ranvir Sena attacked. People were dragged out of their homes and made to stand in a line. Then, in typical Maoist fashion, each one was beheaded. A total of 35 bodies fell in Miapur that day. These cases of attacks and counterattacks had their germination in the use of organized crime syndicates, colloquially referred to as mafia by the politicians. The then Chief Minister of Bihar, Bhagwat Jha Azad, first used the term in 1988. After coal mines in Dhanbad were nationalized in the 1970s, criminals in the guise of labor unions started to turn the black coal fields red with blood. They were the mafia that no one could dare to defy. Names like Suraj Dev Singh, Naurang Dev Singh, A.K. Rai, Yogesh Prasad Yogesh, Kripa Shankar Chatterjee, Satyadev Singh and Tapeshwar Singh were dreaded. Without their support, winning in any election in Dhanbad region was impossible. Soon, they started to contest elections themselves. What was happening in Begusarai, Dhanbad and West Champaran soon spread across Bihar. Powerful gangs and musclemen started to rule politics. Initially, they were commanded, but soon the roles reversed, and Bihar started to follow them. In the 1980 Bihar Assembly elections, several strongmen managed to win simultaneously. One of them was strongman Kali Prasad Pandey, who won the Gopalganj seat as an independent. At that time, he was considered one of the biggest Bahubalis in Bihar and eastern Uttar Pradesh. When Indira Gandhi was killed, Kali Prasad contested the Lok Sabha election from behind the bars and managed to win Gopalganj handsomely. His victory inspired the villainous character Kali Prasad in 1987 film Pratighat. In the 1980 elections, Uma Shankar Singh won from Maharajganj on a Congress ticket. Prabhunath Singh from Taraiya, Raghunath Jha from Shiohar, Mohammad Taslimuddin from Araria, Vinod Singh from Bhavanatpur, Suryadev Singh from Jharia, and Birendra Singh Mohbia from Jandaha and Ram Naresh Singh from Nalanda. It was no secret that all of them were known for their Bahubali credentials. Among them, the independent Birendra Singh Mohbia, who won from Jandaha Assembly seat in Vaishali district, is particularly prominent in the process of criminalisation of politics in Bihar. He was considered a close associate of former Bihar Chief Minister Jagannath Mishra. And much like Mishra, Birendra Singh Mohbia, or Bir Mohbia too, was fond of wearing rings on all 10 fingers. And he too had a hobby of keeping elephants. The 1985 assembly elections saw the dominance of the powerful increase. Dozens of these Bahubalis won elections, and some of them even contested from jail. But when the legal pressure mounted, they replaced themselves with close relatives. The 1990s saw a dramatic shift in Bihar politics. The Congress regime was over. Lalu Prasad Yadav, winning on Janata Dal ticket, became the chief minister. A few months later, the Mandal Commission report was implemented, and Lalu's image as a champion of social justice was strengthened. His star was rising, and so were the stars of Bahubalis. In the 1990 assembly elections, Mohammad Shahabuddin won the Jiradeh seat, while Pappu Yadav won the Singheshwar seat. As an independent, he still remains a prominent figure in Bihar politics and is currently a member of parliament. This was a period when elections and booth capturing became two sides of the same coin in Bihar. Voters became disenchanted with elections and its violence. And then at the turn of the millennium, two changes shocked the entire election process. One was the emergence of an election commissioner in the form of T.N. Seshan, who transformed the electoral landscape in Bihar, and not just the country. And secondly, the easily pilfered ballot box was about to become history, to be replaced by the electronic voting machine. The 1995 Bihar election was one held under the supervision of CEC T.N. Seshan. And the Election Commission demonstrated its strength and assertiveness for the first time. As a result, for the first time in Bihar, notorious for booth capturing since 1957, incidents related to election malpractices decreased dramatically in 1995. And then in 2004, the country's electoral landscape completely, as ballot boxes were replaced with EVMs in a single stroke. This brought about an end to the bloody game of bullets and ballots. So did the Bahubalis vanish from Bihar politics? The answer is no. They shape-shifted. With changing times, they also changed their methods of bullying. They began operating like a syndicate with many faces. They were leaders in the assembly, Robin Hoods among the public, and muscle men for their political masters. They remained relevant through proxy presence, through close relatives like wife, daughter, son, or even in-laws, and some like Pappu Yadav in open defiance. But the story of Bihar, Bahubalis, and ballots continue in a new age, in new form. It's old wine in a new bottle.